I saw something interesting, and it's the last thing. Like I talked about, Sweet Baby Ain't way too much, so this is not. This is something that is a bit more interesting to me, and not so much drama. I mean, it's drama for the people who had to deal with this, but all right. Hundreds of DreamWorks staffers to be let go in a coming month, which is crazy. Let's look up how much. How much the box office? So much money. Kung Fu Panda and 4 made. All right. Second weekend, 31. Okay. Now let's load. Come on, get me. All right. There's no clear number one at the box office this weekend. Dude, advertisements. Oy. All right, the fight for the top spot will be between Kung Fu Panda 4 and Dune. I watched Dune. Pretty good. Should check that one out. Both are projected to earn 30 million plus. All right, so what's the total? Now you're gonna tell me what the total is. Oh yeah. Oh, the the American Society of Magical Negroes, playing in 1147 theaters, made like 1.2 million. Yeah, who would have thought, making a racist movie? Yeah, nobody went to go see it. So, well, anyway, that's funny. All right, yeah, I just want the box office. Somebody gonna tell me what the box office total is? I want the total. It's not gonna make. Let me know what the total is. I'll be here all day trying to friggin'. All right, but it seems to be doing fairly well. Not as well as like the Minion movies, but for the fourth Kung Fu Panda, and right now there's not anything anybody wants to see, so that should play into it. But the newly released teaser for you need to check that out. It says that no one is being laid off. It is, as DreamWorks animation chief operating officer Randy Lake said, is downsizing through natural attrition, in which employment contracts are simply not being renewed. This is the thing I was talking about earlier, how they sign you for, like, for me, it was 10 months, and I tested a bunch of games, and at the end of that, they let a bunch of us go. They keep certain folks that been doing it for a while, like they continue, but the rest of us had, for various reasons, I ain't gonna lie, I was not the greatest game tester. It's one of those things, like, you can find bugs at the beginning, but at the end it's kind of hard to find bugs in the games, and it was just like the way that it was. I don't know, but that's a different story. So all right. However, the sheer number of people whose contracts are being renewed is demoralized staffers and left many wondering about the future direction of the studio. While there are no specific numbers, how many people are being let go, the number is well into the hundreds. Many departments are being cut in half, and the creative staff on features could be reduced as much, not more than 40 to 50%. All right. Keep in mind, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Sora. All right, and a little bit before that, I saw an article with Jeffrey Katzenberg, who basically said that they're getting to the point where they'll be able to make these movies with half the staff. So you hear about that a few months ago, and he's just bringing it up on the random. Then you hear another story about, Tyler Perry not building his giant studio that he's been talking about for the last half decade or so, and he's doing it because of Sora. Like, kind of the writing's on the wall. So, and it sucks for these people, but it's like what seems to be. Let me get rid of this. It seems to me, at least to me, is they're clearing house for that eventuality. So it's like you get the ones, the folks that you really, really like, who are really good at their jobs and all that other stuff, and you slowly start to train them at how things are gonna be, and then you kind of get rid of all the other people. And I don't think they would have done anything like this. Well, I mean, they would let people out before, but I think to the magnitude that they are, if Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter and then fire or help push out the door like 70 or 80% of his staff, and Twitter is working perfectly fine. Well, I mean, it had its issues, but he got rid of so much fluff. All the little jobs of all those people who are making the videos about what do I do all day at insert tech company, and it looks like all they do is go to meetings and drink coffee and get massages and sitting around and fluff each other or whatever. So I think we are seeing the clearing up all of that. It's like, so let's see what else they say. No, oh, by the way, this is on Cartoon Brew. It's like, why are they so many people letting go all at once? The studio rep explained, has multiple large productions, blah, 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 that are winding down at the same time, and the timing of new projects doesn't sync up with the end dates of these current productions. While the studio works to minimize the gaps, but sometimes dates don't align. Departing workers are wrapping up on Wild Robot currently have end dates ranging from mid-April through July. There must be more to the story. Tended to produce 2 features mostly in-house in 2026, but workers are told early February that production would not move forward on one of those films, a Bollywood theme film that had multiple working titles, including Another Me. It was never greenlit, so it wasn't technically canceled. However, multiple studio workers confirmed to us that they were told last month by department heads that there would be significant reductions in staffing due to this particular project not moving forward. All right, that's enough of that particular story. You get the kind of the gist. I think it has a lot to do with all this AI stuff that popped up like overnight, and it's Microsoft, Google, and I know Microsoft is OpenAI, so they put a lot of money into that, and now they just launched their Copilot thing. Now, if you prompt something in the software, you will get something close to what you're kind of looking for, but not really. So it's not quite there yet, but they got a foot in the neighborhood. So they may not be at your house just yet, but they're stepping on the sidewalk, and they are looking at all these people that they've hired for whatever myriad of reasons, and it's like, all right, and these budgets are ridiculous. I have no idea why it cost $300 million to make Spider-Man or some of these other stuff. Like, yeah, they're full of special effects, but Dune cost half of that, and the special effects were actually really good especially because of when you have effects in your movie, the best effects are the effects that you don't see, where it should blend in seamlessly, where it's like you're not being pulled out. And one of the ways that you'll be pulled out in a effects heavy movie is the lighting. When the lighting doesn't look right, and the neighbor's dog is just yelling. So the effect, like where the lighting doesn't look right. And I remember I was watching Hellboy 2, and it was at the end of the movie, and he was walking around with the giant clockwork creatures, and he blended in very well with those CGI folk. I was like, man. So I knew then. I was like, man, they have gotten this down pretty good. Now you got an overuse of it and overwork the workers, and you don't let them finish it. So that's why it looks so bad. And the reason why they look so good in Dune is because they planned everything out before they even did anything, which is how you're supposed to make anything. It's like part of the reason that the people who had issues with John Lasseter at Pixar was because they were like that. It was like the first 2 years, like it takes 4 years to make these movies. The first 2 years are just nothing but story, until you got all the kinks ironed out of this thing before you even get really started. Like you start drawing some things and animating certain things here and there, but for the most part, they get that story tight so that when they do, they're just transferring these storyboards to either to the computer or to hand drawn, whatever you do. And this was how you're supposed to do these kind of things. But I don't know. So I think you're gonna start seeing this in a lot of these effects houses. Maybe not so much in Illumination, because I think they keep their budgets pretty tight. So they may not have as much fluff as DreamWorks probably did. So I feel bad for the folks who lost their job, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall with all this other stuff. My suggestion to any of those people is, like, if you have a story, work on your story while they're working on all this AI stuff, and then eventually you can make your own movie, right? Because you do not, like, if you do it yourself with a small team, you do not need to make $100 million. You don't. So let the technology work for you. Work on the story for yourself. Go into your own thing, so you don't have to worry about. Well, you still got to worry about deadlines, but if you put it out when you want to, just like how things used to be, where they didn't try to shoot for different time periods or anything like that. You just worked on a project until it was done, and when it was finished, that's when you put it out. You didn't have to try to hit the summertime and hit the winter time or whatever. You just put it out when it was good, and then that's how you made your money. But that's just me.